Hello friends, welcome back on our channel Janu by Absek. Today it is our day 8th here in the series of spoken English course. Okay, if you are my subscribers, so you would know about this series in which we are covering all those topics in a sequence through which we can speak English. Yeah, only and only English. Okay, so here again I have brought a very beautiful topic through which we can take our English level at the next level. Okay, what is it? How to listen. How to listen. Now I know many of you were thinking that how to listen. We know already how to listen. As I'm speaking, you are listening. So we know how to listen. But but here we are going to learn what listening techniques. What listening techniques? What are the listening techniques? Listening techniques are the those ways through which we can listen, but still, if it would be a doubt, we are listening. No, here which listening I'm talking about, it is not general listening. As I'm speaking, you are listening. No, it is not that. The listening is that it is related to English, of course. So before I talk about this listening techniques and how can we work on them, before going on it, I would like to move on the topic of places where we have to speak English. Where we have to speak English, we cannot say to the other person, please speak in Hindi or in any other language in which I am comfortable. We cannot say. What are those places? Yeah, what are those places? If you know some example, don't forget to comment. Okay, till then let me tell you what are those places. Let's see, if you are in college, in school, so these are the places. If their environment is in English, yeah, if it is English school, so you'll have to listen in English. You'll have to listen in English. Okay, you don't have options. You cannot say to teacher that please speak in Hindi. Okay, so the environment is of that place in English. So this is the one. Another, it can be in the corporate sector. If we enter in the corporate sector, we will find that people speak in English. Yeah, and very important thing, if any presentation, if someone is giving in the office, again we cannot say the person that speak in a language in which I am comfortable. You cannot say. Okay, the speaker will say which language in which he has to speak. Okay, in the same way, if meeting is going on and you'll have to keep your perspective, in that case, if everyone is speaking, yeah, it's okay, you can speak in language in which you are comfortable, but still what environment is there, you'll have to respond according to that. So I think you also have to speak in English, and as well as others are speaking in English language. In that case, you must know how to listen. How can you understand whatever they are speaking? Yes. Now the third place can be, some exams are there where you cannot speak, where you will have to listen in English, where you will have to listen English, like IELTS. You have heard about it. IELTS. Okay, TOEFL. Okay, so these are, there are more exams also, in which you, what do you have to do, listening, audio will be there, and audio will be there, and you'll have to listen, and then you'll have to answer of questions which will be written on the paper. Okay, so here again, what you need to know, how to listen. Yeah, how to listen means how can you understand after listening them in a better way whatever they are speaking. Okay, listening, understanding that. Okay. Okay, what more place can be? It can be interview. Let's suppose you are going in a job. You are going to take a job. Okay, now in the job, in at the level of interview, you cannot say to the interviewer that please speak in English, so that I will be comfortable and I will be able to respond your answer. You cannot say that. What you will have to, you will have to listen their words in English. Okay, So overall the thing was that we saw here, as in my example, that there are places where we have to listen in English, and as we know we are learning English, so definitely that skill we must have. Okay, so that while after speaking we need to understand also to others, otherwise only one side person is speaking, is it okay? No, not at all. What you have to do, after speaking, if the person with whom you are communicating, you'll have to listen that person also. Okay, so while listening, what problem can you face, and how can you reduce those problems and make your understanding more better than before? Okay, so here we saw, first of all, what were the places where we have got to listen in English. Okay, now we will see what are those problems which we face while listening to others who are speaking in English. Let's suppose here I'm talking in English. Now what problem can you face while listening to me? What problem can you face? It can be, first one, it can be related to any vocabulary. Let's suppose I am speaking and suddenly I use in a sentence a vocabulary which meaning you don't know. In that case you can face problem. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, second one can be that it's sometimes what happens, some speakers accent is different. Accent means what? Accent accent means way of speaking to any word. Okay, if you see American, British languages, so there they speak English, but the thing is that their accent to speak a word, the way of speaking any word will be different. We call to them what? Accent. It is just a accent. They always, or they also use the same words, but way of saying these words are different in their country, and we call those way different ways accent. What? Accent. Okay, so this accent problem you can also face, that person is speaking in another accent, so you are not able to understand what is person trying to speak. Yes. What can be one more else? First one was vocabulary, another one was accent, another more one can be that intonation. Intonation in which person is speaking, but his pitch and pace. Intonation. Okay. Intonation, under the intonation two things come. First one is pitch and another one is pace. Pace is related to what? Pace is related to speed and pitch is related to volume. Okay, so in the intonation, let's suppose I'm speaking but my pace means my speed is very fast, so it can also happen that you didn't able to understand. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Some speaker says very fast, so we didn't able to perceive their words, that what person has spoken. Yeah, it happens, and it is natural if we don't have habit of listening. Okay, and in the same way pitch can be also, if the person's volume is very different, there is variation in the volume, sometimes keeping high low, so what happens, we didn't able to, our mind didn't able to detect sometimes. So there is an intonation which can also become a hurdle to understand ourselves what the speaker is speaking. Okay, so these were the problems. First on vocabulary, accent, intonation. There can be more problems. If you know, don't forget to comment. Okay, so basically I have there is three problem which we face mostly as per my experience. Okay, so what can we do to overcome these problems, and can perceive and can understand to the speaker in a better way, and so that we can respond in a much better way. Because if you will listen to person carefully and you are understanding everything, then definitely you will be able to respond. But if you are unable to understand what is the speaker speaking, then you will also not able to answer, or what answer against his question. Okay, so now let's see what are those techniques through which you can overcome these all the problems, these all the hurdles which we face while listening to a speaker. Okay, okay, so what are those techniques? through which we can listen to others carefully and understand them in a better way. Okay, so that we also able to respond in a better way. The thing is that which I'm going to tell, listening techniques, don't think it will be very special, something unique which will I brought for you all. No, it is a common thing which we have learned, which through which we have been going through. But the thing is that we are not working on it carefully, on honestly, sincerely. We are not taking those ways seriously. I have just came here with those points to remind you all so that you can improve your listening power. Okay, whatever we are speaking, okay, whatever we are speaking, we need to listen as well. Okay, after that, because the person who is listening to us, after it he will speak. So whatever is he speaking, we need to respond also. So now let's see the what are those techniques. Okay, first first technique is prediction. Prediction, it is the way to it is the way through which we can improve our English. How can we do that? Let's suppose, as I told in the problems, that what do we face problem while speaking English, that vocabulary problem. Yeah, if someone speaker is if some speaker is speaking and if he uses any vocabulary which meaning I don't know, so I didn't able to understand that line. It happens generally. Yeah, so here what can we work? We can use this way. That is called prediction. We can predict what can be the meaning of that sentence. What is the speaker wants to say? Because it is just a sentence. But if you are listening to a speaker carefully, so you would know very well what he has been speaking since he has started to speak. Okay, so just a sentence in which he has used just a word, okay, which meaning you don't know. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you will not able to understand the meaning of that whole sentence. You will able to understand. You will have to just do what? Predict that what can be the meaning. If you have been listening since carefully since he has started to speak, then definitely you will be able to understand also that what is the meaning of that line. Even you don't know the vocabulary, the meaning of that vocabulary which he has used. Okay, so it is a way to understand. Okay, it works, really it works. If you see, if you are watching any movie, okay, so sometimes what happens, keep watching, then suddenly we able to sometimes predict. Even in news it happens mostly. Yes, the anchor is speaking this, so we able to predict that this thing is going to speak, that speaker, that anchor. Yeah, so it works, really it works. But when you will carefully listen to the speaker, then it will help you to understand what the speaker said. Second is what? It was for vocabulary. It was for vocabulary. Yes, it was for vocabulary. Second one will be what? Second one will be as per problem. I'm taking these all solutions. Our second problem was what? Our second problem was what? Accent was one of them. Yeah, accent. Accent. For this, you can do what? You can go through on videos. On videos means those videos which are going to be in our language, Indian accent. Okay, if you go for, like, you can see BBC channel. I don't think it is, but it will help you to improve. Okay, you can for Joe's Talk, TEDx. If you will go on these channels, you will find some people, those are speaking in English, and they all have come out at there from us, from our environment, so we understand them better way. We also take interest to know, if you also get kind of inspiration from them. The thing is that we understand them very well, what are they speaking, because whatever they speak, these all are in Indian accent. Okay, so it also helps if you are listening something which is not in our accent. So what happens, we face problem, but still it will be only for a temporary time, for a short period time. If you will keep watching that kind of content which is in another accent, so gradually you will able to understand, you will able to understand what the speaker is speaking, even the accent is different. Okay, because you have made habit here. Now on videos, as I said, you'll have to listen those videos in which speaker has Indian accent. Okay, listen to our videos, okay, in which many speakers are there, those speaks in Indian language. Simple, yeah. Hmm? For accent it was. Third one is what? Vocabulary, accent. Another one is pace, problem of speed. If you are facing problem of speed, let's suppose speaker has speaking very fast, you are not able to understand. Okay, what can you do in that case? You will have to listen more. You will have to start consume your content in English. As you will start to consume English content, gradually you will find many things you are learning, many things you are able to understand which you are not able earlier. So these are the way which will happen gradually, and by listening more. Listen more, which by listening more. Okay, by listening more, it is very important. If you are struggling with the problem of speaker space, in that case you will have to consume your all content in English. Okay, consume it in English, and gradually what can you do, you can increase the speed of your that video a little bit, not more than that. So it will help you to understand very fastly what is the speaker is speaking, so that you will able to understand the video. Okay, so it is the last way through which you can also solve your pace problem. In the beginning I told these three problems which we face. Actually I have experienced these ways while learning English, so I thought I should share with you all. Okay, these problems I have generally faced, and then according to them I have got the solution of these three problems. I have shared with you prediction on videos and listening more. Okay, so these are the ways through which we can understand what is the speaker is speaking, even it is a problem of vocabulary, accent, and pace of a speaker. Okay, now a tip I'm going to give you all. Okay, tip is what? The tip is that you know what we are what we consume. Have you ever seen, even if you are watching any web series, after watching web series, what happens if there is a 10 to 15 parts? So after all the parts, let's suppose you have watched all parts. After watching all the parts, what happens, we sometimes speak the same way in which they have spoken in those series. Sometimes their vocabulary we use, way of speaking we use, accent we use. Yes, and sometimes we also behave something like that. Yeah, so what is it? It is just we have consumed something, and now we are imitating, we are copying them. Yes, imitate, we are what we are doing here, imitating. So this is also a way you can understand from here that what kind of content you consume, you are going to respond in the same way. So if you are facing any problem, even in anything, not just English, you just and you want to improve in that, you will have to start consume that content, that field of content. Let's suppose here it is English, you want to improve your English, so you need to start consume your content in English. It is not just a subject which you will have to sit at a chair and table for 2 hours, you have done. Okay, no, it is for 24 hours. It is for 24 hours. Every time whatever you are looking, you are doing. Okay, you will have to question yourself. How can we say to this in English? Okay, how it will be in English? Okay, how can we frame these sentences in English? What will be the vocabulary of this thing? These are the ways through grow your yourself. Okay, so I hope you have learned these techniques and you all have to apply it. It was on my basis. Okay, I have experienced those, so I shared with you all. Okay, I have worked, so it has worked for me, but it doesn't mean the other ways which are working for you, these are not good. No, if there are other ways through which you are learning and it is working for you, so it's good, you need to go with this, no problem. Okay, so friends, these are the ways, these are the techniques which I told you in today's class. So hopefully you have enjoyed the class, that how to listen, which was very simple in the beginning. How to listen, that we know already, but now I know in the end of the class it is not this much simple as it was in the beginning. But yes, the thing is that you have to do, you have to do action, you will have to take. Without action nothing is going to possible. Even how many motivational videos you have watched, how many inspiration you have got, it doesn't work until you start to take action. Yeah, thinking is important, but action is also important. Okay, so hopefully you have enjoyed the class. Now I would like to take permission to meet you all in my next video. Till then, keep watching, keep smiling. Thank you so much.